We're back. Wolf&Pooch, episode whatever.
20 and counting, 20 something.
20 something. We getting up there. We progressing. Appreciate all the new subscribers, by the way. Shout out to the new ones. Appreciate the love. Today we're going to talk about, this is like a hot topic. I've talked about this with my friends. I've talked about this, with you off the camera. But like, a lot of people would like to know, why do people go for like the bad boy or like the bad girl type? And why do nice guys seem to finish last? Or why do nice girls get the brunt end of the stick? And so that's what we're going to discuss today and kind of give our opinions on that. You
So first of all, give me your definition of a bad boy. What does that entail?
Well, my definition is a guy, a bad boy to me is a guy that's emotionally unavailable, meaning he's not looking to, for love or any of that. Doesn't necessarily mean he, treat you bad or beat you up or anything like that, but it's just like the him not being emotionally available.
Someone who basically plays games, right? Like kind of is interested but won't commit. Would you say that is kind of part of it?
Yeah, you could say something like that.
Okay. So, and then the nice guy, what is just the guy who wants to be in a relationship and just...
Nice guy is a guy that tends to chase. Like, he tends to keep trying. Like, he's willing to put the girl before his own needs. That's like the definition of a nice guy.
So, are you saying that bad boys never chase? Because I would disagree with that. I think bad boys chase to a degree until they get what they want. No.
Okay. That's the thing. I say a bad boy doesn't chase. He'll pursue and let you know he's interested. Maybe go up to you, whatever. But a bad boy is the type. A bad boy, for lack of a better word, is the type to. He knows he could take it or leave it. Like, he doesn't have to keep trying to chase. As the nice guy would get rejected and still try to, oh no, the guy in your inbox, baby, please send you good morning 20 times.
I think we're leaving out one person here. I think there's the middle guy, because there's guys who are still a nice guy and don't do that. I mean, wouldn't you agree? Like, True. There's still guys who are like good, upstanding men, mm-hmm. and will take no for an answer. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I just feel like, I know it's black and white. There's exactly what you're saying. There is people who exist like that, and there's people who exist like the men who appear maybe desperate or whatever, right? But then there is that in-between guy too, which is, I think, probably what everyone wishes they had, a little bit of both, that balance. I think those are the hardest men to find. If I was a betting woman, which I am actually, but I would say that's probably the hardest one to find, because yes, a woman does like to be pursued. However, a woman does not want to do all the chasing, as I don't think she should. I really, truly feel like this generation presently, these men want to be chased. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Show mutual interest. Why is one person doing all the work? I don't feel if two people are interested, why is one showing more? That gets into game playing for me. And I think a lot of, relationship issues or dating issues could really be solved if you cut out all the BS, all the games. It's like, hey, I'm interested in you. Okay, let's go out. Let's get to know each other, whatever. But why is it like, oh, I got to wait so long before I text him back? Or, oh, I can't double text her because I'll look thirsty. Just, it's stupid. Like, who made up these rules? Like, and so it creates this culture of, I got to be a bad boy because I got to have to have this kind of persona about me so she doesn't think that, I'm that into her. It's bullshit. It's complete, I don't know. I have a lot to say about this stuff.
Here's the thing. I feel like there's a push-pull thing, right? Meaning, if somebody pushes too much, you're going to pull back naturally, right?
Maybe.
Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe there's cases where, it's people who probably love each other mutually, right?
Sure.
I feel like now in this...
But if you don't, keep it pushing.
Exactly. And in this generation,
don't
the mind games come in because now it's becoming more of like boys versus girls. Instead of like working as a team, it's just more like opponents.
Let me stop you. Boys versus girls. Yes, because boys play games, girls play games. A man isn't going to play a game with you. A woman isn't going to play a game with you. They're done with that. They're grown. But yes, so I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, true. But grown is not age; it's a mindset. You still got
100%.
grown women and grown men out here, doing the same thing.
Because they're not really grown. They may be age grown, but not mentally grown.
In general, like I was saying, usually two people can't chase each other, right? So in general, most of the time, one person is probably going to be doing a little bit more than the other person. Now, I hear what you're saying. If you're not interested, then yeah, whatever, and keep it pushing. The problem is people catch feelings naturally. We're humans, right? Sure. One person will probably catch feelings. Even if you had those situations where you decided like, okay, we just gonna be like friends with benefits or whatever. It's just gonna be strictly physical, no emotion. 9 times out of 10, somebody probably gonna end up catching feelings because sex is a very emotional thing, right?
Absolutely.
So that's where it stems from. It's all about your intentions from the beginning. For me, I feel like if both of you are looking for marriage or something like that, okay, that's good. But if one person tell you I'm not looking for that, and they let you know, and yet you still continue to deal with that person, then that's where the issues come in, because one person's not going to be invested like the other person.
But here's the deal. I think the issue lies with both. So let's give a hypothetical thing. Okay, there's a guy who maybe not be as interested in the girl, right? He tells her, look, I'm not interested in anything serious right now. I'm just doing my thing, dating around, whatever. But the ego in the woman says, well, maybe I'll be the one to change him, right? Mm-hmm. Therefore, and then so then you get into this whole thing. So you're still living your life. This person's over here trying to feel like, okay, I might be the one that'll like maybe change his mind, whatever, like I was saying. And then you'll be able to see that. I'm not saying you, but like the person will be able to see that, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll know. So I think at some point, even though you've been upfront with that person, I think you just need to let him go. And I'll tell you why. Because it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get deeper. So you still may feel the way you feel, yet they're still over there like trying to do whatever they can or whatever, thinking that they may have a chance. Like, well, if I just stick around, maybe he'll come around, da-da-da-da-da. I don't know. I just feel like, why prolong it? And I think these situationship things that are going on are ruining what a true relationship. It's like everyone's like, oh, it's a situationship for a year. How the hell are you in a situationship for a year? That's wild to me. Like, how do people do that? Like, I mean, I find that to be damaging because at the end of the day, at that point, after that amount of time, yes, there's feelings involved. So then what are you supposed to do? Just discard them? No. So it's kind of like, it's up to one, it's a stronger person out of the other to be like, you know what, I know you feel strongly about me. I don't feel the same. We should just probably stop this.
Definitely.
But most men won't do that because they want their cake and they want to eat it too.
Going back to the question, why do nice guys and nice girls tend to finish last, and we tend to like bad boys and bad bitchs, and I think it goes back to us as humans. We want the things we can't have. The bad boy is elusive. The woman is always trying to trap him down, like, always trying to get him to commit. But the bad boy is like, he does his own thing. And let's be honest, women like a chase. Same as men. A man would like a chase.
Everyone wants to feel wanted.
Chase, right?
A man wants to feel wanted.
So I think that's why the bad boy tends to attract more girls than a nice guy,
But
because
are
don't
they
get it
attracting
wrong.
quality? I don't know. Are
That's a different story.
Because a high value woman doesn't want a bad boy. They want someone who's going to hold them down and be serious. They don't want to deal with the games. They're not interested. Because a lot of times they've been there, done that. They're like, listen, I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
So
just to,
So I think they tried bottom feeders. That's my term. Call them bottom feeders. Which is basically maybe.
Well,
that's kind of harsh, right? Maybe
I'm about to say, I wouldn't necessarily say bottom feeders.
Some, right?
Because what would you consider
maybe
a high value
woman? Okay.
Would you consider
a woman who knows what she wants is a high value woman? A woman who doesn't play games is a high value woman. A woman who's taking care of her own self, financially, career, whatever it is, doing her thing, independent. Now, I'm not saying that that's all the qualities. It's just a few that come to mind. But I feel like that's a woman who brings value. I mean, one of the things. What do you consider a high value woman?
Well, I just feel like, to me, I just like a nice feminine woman. Sometimes.
I mean, I left that out.
Sometimes the high value women, like, they'll become masculine. They'll get this thing that. Not high, like,
what do you mean?
Like the career-driven woman who's focused on career and she could take care of herself, and that's great. But she doesn't know how to be feminine, and that's a turn off. Dudes won't even like that.
I think there's men.
So it just depends on.
You could have a career and be feminine.
You could, but a lot of times, some of those women. It's harder. I would say it's harder for a career woman to submit. Not all, but like the ones who be like by themselves. Oh, I could do this. I don't need a man. I could do this by myself. Like those ones, it's harder for them to, kind of submit to a man. And so
I don't think a woman should submit to a man until she feels comfortable and safe.
Sometimes high valued and feminine it's like two different things to me. I feel like, because high value these days, they call that being a bad bitch.
I disagree.
So that's what I'm saying, and that don't necessarily translate to a feminine woman. I would choose feminine over a high value.
Well, isn't a feminine woman considered high value to you? Isn't that your definition of high value? One of the characteristics.
Yeah, it can
right?
be. Yeah,
I mean, because let me ask you this: what woman? If I'm going to put two people in front of you, right? Let me use Jay as an example. Do you want the woman who expects you to pay for her hair, her nails, and her lashes, and all these things, right? Or do you want the woman who's like, I could take care of this, and like I don't need you for that? Does that bother you, or do you want to take care of that for them? Because there's some people, some women who really expect that. I don't get that, but okay.
I don't really want anybody think feminine is equivalent to needy. Like, I don't want a girl who needs me to pay for. Oh, I need you to pay for my. I don't think that necessarily means feminine. When I mean feminine,
I'm just saying because a lot of times, like, I just was curious. I went off the track a little bit. No, it is.
Yeah, I don't think that means feminine, because the woman that could pay for herself can very much be feminine. Like,
sure,
I don't mind that at all. I would never be like, oh, I need to pay for this or that. Like, no, I just mean like she just she does everything a woman does and allows me to be me. She's like a great support. That's what I mean by like feminine. Not trying to control things or thinking she could do things by herself. That's more the masculine type of women who, try to be masculine, and that's all I was saying about that. But going back to the general topic and question of why nice people tend to get taken for granted, I just think like even like in other, not just in relationships, but in like just relationships in general, like not romantic ones, but it could be with your family, friends, or whatever. If you tend to do too much, if you tend to be like, it's not wrong with being nice. We're not saying being mean or an asshole, but you can't be
too giving,
too available, like too putting other people's needs before yours, because that's
No, you end up resentful.
You're in a resentful, and then they'll look at you as just like, you know, you're always going to be there type of deal. And when something is always in our face, it tends to lose its value because we constantly see it. We're constantly around it. That's why, like what we said in our short that we made, when we was like, it's good to give each other space, ways to keep the relationship going. You know, it relates to that.
For sure.
You don't want to just constantly be around each other because you'll lose your value to that person, even though they don't mean it. It's just that's just how it is. That's just naturally how it is.
Right.
It's like getting a new bike. You're gonna ride it, but eventually you're gonna stop riding it. It's just gonna become a regular bike. Sure. Right. So that's all I mean.
Reinvent the bike.
Yeah, you gonna have to. Yeah.
You have to trick it out.
But yeah, put some pegs on it. Maybe just buy some new, you know, whatever. But that's all that means. Like, I feel like sometimes, and I'm not saying that's the nice person's fault. It's not. It's just sometimes you gotta know. You gotta have that personal standard.
I think good people get taken advantage of. I agree with you, and it's sad because, you know, it's like then you got to pretend to be a certain kind of person because then you're not going to attract this and that. It comes into that game playing thing that I was saying earlier.
And yeah, that's when it goes to the game playing, because now the nice guy and the nice girl get taken advantage of. So now when they do like a person, they're trying not to be as on them. They're trying to be difficult now. They're trying to act like they don't like them.
So much work.
In order to attract them. Like it's backwards these days. But
and doesn't that seem like just a lot of energy and work? It's like, why can't people just say how they feel and just go from there? Like, why does it have to be a whole like push pull like you were saying? I don't know. I just feel like, again, the game playing, it just is exhausting.
Well, we in the age of ghosting, and
that's horrible too. I think that's cowardly.
And so
just
people
be man enough or woman enough to say, hey, you know, I don't think this is gonna work, but you know, you're a great person, whatever. Boom, done.
Yeah, I agree. Boom, done. And I think we could boom, done, wrap it up right there.
Really? You know, have any more to say? We went on about this.
Yeah, we went a pretty good minute, but nah, I pretty much said how I feel about that topic.
I just want to add one thing in, because I feel like, you know, he and I have had this discussion a few times, and you know, he's like, oh, you know, girls like the bad boys, da 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 da. I'm like, yeah, until they get them, and then it's not that fun anymore, right? And I could say, like, true. You know, it's like, oh yeah, well, the nice guys finish last, da 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 da. You know, girls don't want the nice guy. It's like, you know what? I think guys don't want the nice girl because they don't know what to do with it. Because, you know, you could have a perfectly good woman in front of you and you screw it up and you don't know, and then you're kind of like, oh damn, you know what? I should have been better. I should have, you know, figured that out. Like, so it goes both ways. It's not just the bad boys or you know, it's, you know, it goes on both ends. And if I had to close out, it'd be like, you know, stop game playing. Like, why are we doing these stupid games in this age? It's like, you know, if you look at the whole picture, it's like, how long do we have here? We don't know. So why would you waste your time playing these stupid ass games if you're looking for love? Now, if you're not looking for love, but like, everyone wants to feel loved, don't you think? Everybody wants that.
True, but love can come in different forms. Doesn't have to be by a person.
Oh, of course, but I'm talking about, well, that's, yes, true. I'm talking about, like, what we're relating this to. So, yeah, so I'm just saying, it's like, just don't, you know, play with people's hearts. It's not nice.
Got you. In the words of Pooch, it's not nice. Don't do
Play
it.
nice.
Until next time, appreciate the love, support. Remember,
like, comment, subscribe.
All that good stuff.
We're
going to be coming out with more shorts, TikToks, all that good stuff. And appreciate it. Y'all be blessed, stay safe, and keep it lit.